in triangle ABC, AB is equals to SC, which is equals to X. Is equals to SC, which is equals to X. Therefore, BA is equals to BC. And therefore, the triangle is an isosceles triangle. It's an isosceles triangle since this side is equals to this side. So if that is the case, then if we are to draw a perpendicular from point A to meet line BC, just like this, so this is perpendicular. If this point is point E, then by symmetry, BE is equals to EC. BE is equals to EC by symmetry. Therefore, BE is equals to EC, which is equals to BC over 2. And we know that BC is equals to BD, which we already know as 14, is equals to BD plus DC over 2. BD, we know it as 14, it was given, and DC is 4. So this over 2 is equals to BE. So this will be equals to 14 plus 4 is 18 over 2. And therefore, this is equals to 9. Therefore, BE, which is equals to EC, is equals to 9. Since we found EC, now we can find ED. So ED, this here, is equals to EC minus DC, which will be equals to, so EC is 9, we found it as 9, minus DC is 4, which is equals to 5. And therefore, ED is equals to, this is 5. Now, in triangle ADE, so this is A, D, this is E, and this is D. We've established this as 5, and we have this as AD as 13. This is a right triangle. Now we can use Pythagorean or Pythagoras theorem to find AE. So from Pythagoras theorem, A squared plus B squared is equals to C squared. So A in this case is 5 squared plus B, which is AE squared, is equals to C, which is AD, which is 13 squared. Therefore, AE squared will be equals to 13 squared minus, this comes this side, becomes negative, so minus 5 squared. And therefore, AE squared is equals to 13 squared is 169 minus 5 squared is 25. Therefore, AE squared is equals to 169 minus 25 is equals to 144. Now we find the square root on both sides. So this square cancels with the square root. And therefore, AE is equals to square root of 144 is 12. Therefore, AE here, this is 12. Now, in triangle ABE, this is the one, ABE, this is A, this is E, and this is B. We found that BE is 9. We've just found that AE is 12. So this is X. This here is 90 degrees. Therefore, it's a right triangle, and therefore you can use the Pythagorean theorem to find X. So from the Pythagoras theorem, which is A squared plus B squared is equals to c squared. And therefore A in this case is 9 squared plus B is 12 squared is equals to C, which is x, or which is AB, which is x. So x squared. Therefore 9 squared is 81 plus 12 squared is 144 is equals to x squared. And therefore 81 plus 144 gives us 225 is equals to x squared. So we find the square root on both sides. Square root of 225 is 15. This is equals to, this cancels with the square root, we have x. Therefore x is equals to 15. So this x is 15. Let's look at another method in which you could have solved this. So if you have the triangle, the other method is since AB or BA is equals to AC, which is equals to x, that means that these angles here, this angle here, will also be equals to this angle. So if this angle is theta, that implies that this angle here will also be theta. Cos theta, cos of this angle here, will be equals to a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. In triangle ABD, so in triangle ABD, cos theta is equals to cos theta in this triangle ABD will be, so cos of this angle here, 14 squared plus x squared minus 13 squared over 2 times 14 times x. While in triangle ACD, so this theta, cos of this angle theta, will be equals to 4 squared plus x squared plus, this will be minus 13 squared over 2 times 4 times x. Now since this is cos theta and this is cos theta, we shall equate this to this. So we shall have 14 squared plus x squared minus 13 squared over 2 times 14 times x being equals to 4 squared plus x squared minus 13 squared over 2 times 4 times x. So when we multiply both sides by 2x, this 2x cancels with this, 2x cancels with this. So we are left with 14 squared plus x squared minus 13 squared over 14 being equals to 4 squared plus x squared minus 13 squared over 4. So multiply by 4, this cancels out, and this divide by 2 is 2, this divide by 2 is 7. And therefore we are left with, so 14 squared is equals to 196 plus x squared minus 13 squared is 169. So this times this 2 here over 7 is equals to 4 squared is 16 plus x squared minus 13 squared is 169. So we multiply by 7 on both sides. So this cancels with this. So we have 2 times 196, which is 392 plus 2 times x squared times 2 times 169, which is 338, is equals to 16 times 7, which is 112, plus 7 times x squared, minus 169 times 7 is 1183. Therefore, we have this, we shall have 2x squared, then 392 minus 338 is equals to plus 54 is equals to 7x squared. This minus this gives us minus 1071. Therefore, we take the 2x the other side and bring this side. So we shall have 54 plus 1071 is equals to 7x squared minus 2x squared. So this plus this is equals to 1125 is equals to 7x squared minus 2x squared is 5x squared. So let us divide both sides by 5. So this 5 cancels with this. When you divide this by 5, you get 225 is equals to x squared. Therefore, x squared is equals to 225. Now let us find the square root on both sides. This square cancels with the root, and therefore x is equals to square root of 225 is 15. So the value of x is equals to 15.